Been a long time coming. He joins us from Canberra. Jared, good evening. Thank you for your time. Good on you. And what are you doing?
Thanks, Alan. Well, we're giving mainstream Australians a voice. We're very concerned about what's happened over the last 10 years, so much so that in our research, only 16% of Australians think Australia is a better place today than it was a decade ago. That's a very sad statistic, and we want to get involved in the political process through Advance Australia and change it.
Well, this other crowd, Get Up, have got a lot of money. I mean, their first campaign, as I've said many times and Peter has said on this program, was to free David Hicks from Guantanamo Bay. You can know where they're coming from. So I guess the dirty word is money. And how do you mobilise people to contribute to this counter position against Get Up?
Well, you've got to talk to them, Alan. You've got to reach them. You've got to tell them what Get Up is really about. And we know that Get Up has spent over $55 million in its 13 years. That's an enormous amount of money. That's an enormous amount of influence on the political process. We want to build slowly. We're funded by mainstream Australians. So you and I getting involved, signing up on our website and making small donations, and we'll put them to good use. We'll put them towards advertising. We'll put them towards issue campaigns. We're running 2 issue campaigns at the moment. Save Australia Day, we believe it should stay on the 26th of January. And the other one is around superannuation, called Hands Off Our Super. There's over 1 million self-funded retirees that if a Labor government gets in, is going to be dudded out of their income.
Well, talking about a Labor government, Bill Shorten was on the original board of Get Up in 2006. And then you talk about the unions, and the unions only recently, I think last year, gave $1.2 million to CFMEU to Get Up. So they're not short of money, are they?
No, they've never been short of money, and they've always had someone to write a blank cheque at the end of the day if they overspent or didn't spend enough. Interestingly, they raise a lot of money in non-election years, store it, and then spend big in election years, and that's borne out by their public returns.
Now, Peter, you've seen all this. I mean, right at the grassroots level, these are fighting for leftist causes. You've seen it against conservative politicians.
And when they started, they didn't openly say that they were running a left-wing agenda. They said that they were just a community grassroots organisation, that they were running on issues that ordinary people were concerned about. So they had a pretence of coming at issues in a bipartisan way based on the merit of the issue. Now, that's long gone. They sit around and they carve up the seats that the coalition currently hold. They go light on anyone who belongs to the left of the Liberal Party, and they go very hard against anyone who might be conservative to drive them out of politics, in the hope that over time the Liberal Party members that sit in the Parliament become more and more left-wing, and it changes politics in this country. It basically removes a conservative force out of federal politics. Now, Jared, you've got a couple of issues there that you're campaigning on. You are trying to put yourself via the AEC, aren't you, inside the rules, where Get Up has spent a lot of time and effort doing everything they can to get themselves out of the rules that deal with third-party organisations, independent third groups and political parties.
That's correct, Peter. We will follow the AEC rules and the Electoral Act to its T. We've been very open and upfront. We've disclosed our board, we've disclosed our advisory council, and we've been very public in what our purpose is and what our mission is. We want to protect, defend and advance mainstream Australian values. That means centre-right values.
Why doesn't the Electoral Commission...
That means values that are going to give...
Sorry, Gerard, go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say they're the values that the majority of Australians hold and are slowly being eroded by elites and left-wing activists.
But why doesn't the Electoral Commission force Get Up to provide the kind of transparency to Australians so that they declare the donations, we know where the donations are from, and why aren't they appropriately registered as a political instrument? Why isn't that insisted upon?
Well, I think the AEC, to be fair to them, only enforces the rules and laws that they can enforce. The most recent change that occurred last week will mean that any organisation spending over $10,800 on election material will have to disclose and register as a third party. That's a good thing for our democracy. We want the contest of ideas. We want to be a massive part of it at Advance Australia for many years to come.
So what about things like negative gearing? I mean, these are the big issues, aren't they? You mentioned superannuation. That's a big issue. Negative gearing. I mean, the housing market's already in some trouble. We look like rents going north and housing values going down. If those rules are changed, there's then, of course, the threat by the union movement that they will force Labor into a wealth tax, death duties. And these are sorts of things that you'll take up because, you know, those along with immigration and Paris are the big issues that people are talking to me about anyway.
Absolutely, Alan. We want to make sure that we're the voice for a fair go, and negative gearing changes are not a fair go if you're a renter. And I dare say a lot of people who are either GetUp members or supporters of the Labor Party will be looking at their rents on a weekly basis and fearing that they're going to go up through the roof.
So people can contribute. We're saying it's advancedaustralia.org.au, isn't it?
That's correct. So advanceaustralia.org.au. We welcome any Australian who shares our values. They're plainly detailed on our website, our beliefs, why you should join us and what the impact we seek to have.
Good on you. Good luck. Good luck. We'll talk again. Jared Benedet, wonderful stuff. Advance Australia. Hit that website now, advanceaustralia.org.au. And even if it's only $10, if you can give. You know, a million people giving $10 is a lot of dough. The fight is on. And we're not batting for Labor or Liberal, we're batting for Australia. Who would you put into bat for Australia? Someone who's going to take $200 billion of taxes? Someone who's going to change the negative gearing rules? Someone's going to introduce death duties? Would you put them into bat for Australia? Give me a break. Give me a break. Gerard Benedet it is, advanceaustralia.org.au. Just before we go, Peter, one of